Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Have a great show lined up. A special guest here in studio. But first, let's take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. And we're going to have a comfortable rest of the week. It's going to cool down a little bit and get a little bit of rain today. So it's going to be a good week. The high today is going to be actually up to 84, and the low is only 72, so not much movement there. But tomorrow is going to be even lower. Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, cool mornings, and I know we all talk about how much we look forward to those cool mornings. Water temperature at the end of the beach pier is 84 degrees. Big sign right there, things going to start migrating. Okay, the river reading brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Take a look at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. This morning's reading of 3.3, pretty steady right there. And then take a look at the Choctahatchee at Caryville. This morning, again, it's steady. And we're looking at a 1.2. The Choctahatchee River is low, so be careful if you get out on it the next couple of days. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn, right here on 23rd Street. Great tides today and tomorrow, but look at the weekend. We're back in a neap tide. This weekend we'll have a full moon and neap tides, so you might really want to gear towards some freshwater fishing this weekend. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and welcome our guest this morning. First time on Panhandle Outdoors, but a true outdoorsman and our local representative, Griff Griffiths.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you having me on this morning.
Oh, we're so tickled to have you on. We've run into each other over the last couple of years, and I said, well, you're going to have to come on the show because I would see pictures of some of these fish he's been catching, so I knew, remember we had Jay Trumbull on the show last month. Same thing here. I had a contest who's going to come on first, but anyway.
Senator always gets me, yeah.
We're glad you're on. So tell us folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, born and raised right here in Bay County. Grew up out on the beach, went to beach school, Jenks Junior High, Bay High. Went off to Florida State, came right back home, and been here ever since. Was in the hotel business with my family for 40 plus years.
Yeah. Decided
to sell those off in 2018. Fell and bumped my head and got into politics in 2016, like you did. Caught us at a weak moment, right?
What were we thinking?
I know, what were we thinking? And then, but since then was a county commissioner for 6+ years, and now fortunate enough to represent the people of District 6 in Bay County here.
Well, I tell you what, we're just glad to have you. And when I went to Tallahassee last spring, I tell you about seeing Jay Trumbull and went by and saw him, and it just felt right at home. When you get up there and all. So
we're trying. We're doing our best to represent the people, and folks are always welcome. My door's always open.
I know that. And your dad was well known out there.
Yeah, but Dad was the mayor of the beach for 18 years, 82 to 2000.
Wow.
A lot of growth out there during that period.
Yes.
So I was the little kid running on the beach when there wasn't much, and now there's a lot going on out there. And so yeah, very proud of what he's accomplished, and miss him dearly. Be 3 years in December that he's passed away, but.
Wow.
But I think his legacy lives on out there. He's still, everywhere I go, I get your dad. And so that's something, I'm glad to hear that everywhere I go.
I know you told me one time you were fishing on the beach pier. You were fishing all kind of places out there growing up.
Oh, yeah. Well, we lived a beachfront hotel, lived in the hotel. So I was fishing for whiting and pompano and all that sort of stuff as a kid with, just anything I could throw out there in the water. Those days you'd see those schools of just jacks running down the beach, and you could throw a gold hook and catch stuff, right? And crabbing and whatever it was on the beach. And then my dad wasn't a big saltwater fisherman other than off the beach. He'd get sick. But he loved to freshwater fish. And we had a place at Steelfield. He had a little trailer up there at Steelfield. So I spent my youth running the rivers up there, and then of course, we go to Wimico and Dead Lakes and bass and brimfish a lot.
Wow.
And so had a lot of fun doing that as a kid, and then had to kind of teach myself how to saltwater fish as I got a little bit older, as I got a boat. I got a boat when I was probably 12 or 13, a little John boat that I ran the bays in. I ran all over the bay, and then I got a little ski boat and skied in Watson Bayou and all that sort of stuff. But I tell people all the time, I'm gonna live forever because I ate crabs and mullet out of Watson Bayou back in the day. And but so yeah, just ran the bays and then learned how to offshore fish kind of with my friends as I got a little bit older. We started scuba diving and that sort of stuff, and offshore just learned the trades. Fished with a buoy in Loran. You go out there and drop a buoy and fish in a circle, and so now it makes it's a little bit cheating when you got a trolling motor and things like that.
I know, you got all the electronics and where to go and all.
Keep you right on it.
I want him to tell that story because what a classic story of growing up on the beach and just teaching yourself how to fish and loving to have a family love fishing and all. We got some pictures we're going to show later, but you had time and time and time you could go fishing whenever you finished. You had chores around the hotel, didn't you?
Oh yeah, my dad was. We lived there, so we worked there.
Yeah.
I've never done a job as I got older and ran the hotels. I never asked anybody to do a job that I hadn't already done.
Okay.
Benefit of on the west end of the beach, we had one of those coastal ponds right across the street from the hotel. So I had a little freshwater pond and then the freshwater lake. And that freshwater pond, I'd get dough balls and just catch brim using my little brim buster. My dad was a big brim buster fan, and so brim busters and just a lot of that stuff out on that beach, golf course lakes.
What part of Alabama was your dad from?
My dad was born and raised here. He grew up right here, went to Bay High.
Okay.
My mom moved down here in high school and graduated from Bay High as well.
Wow.
So and my grandmother was born at Crystal Lake.
No kidding.
Yeah, she was born at Crystal Lake, and so we're multi-generational, this part of the world.
Bay County, that's good. Yeah. Well, learning those things, I talk a lot about the Panhandle indoors, all the lakes and the creeks and rivers, but I love having somebody like Riff come on and talk about on the beach and all the outdoor things going on then.
Yeah.
I mean, all over the place. So that's cool.
And I grew up on the west end of the beach, so it was Phillips Inlet and those places like that for me. I actually, before Camp Helen was before it was a state park, it was the retreat for Avondale Mills, right out about southern Alabama. And the caretakers were the Paget family. And I grew up with the Paget kids. And so I spent the night at the house in the lodge there as a kid, and we ran all over and water skied, and biggest trout I ever caught, one of the biggest, was out of Phillips Inlet.
Wow.
Yeah, St. Joe Bay and Phillips Inlet.
How cool was that, spending the night in that old lodge?
Oh yeah, man, ghost stories as a kid running around back then. Yeah,
that's cool.
We had a lot of fun. Yeah, Stacy and Rick Paget were the kids that I grew up with, and west. On the west end there wasn't a lot of us out there, so we had to kind of band together.
And talking about the government doing good things, we bought the property, and now everybody can share.
There's not. I don't know many people know this, but we have a state park on the east end of the county and the west end of the beachfront of the county with Camp Helen and St. Andrews, and so we're so blessed to have that. We're lucky.
That's cool. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Sitting here, our local representative goes to Tallahassee on a regular basis. What's your schedule going over there?
It's about 100 days a year. So right now we're in committee weeks. We've done our week in September. I'll do a week October, 2 weeks November, 2 weeks December, and then session will start, and I'll be there for January and February.
Wow.
So about 100 days a year.
All right. So we're going to talk.
I'd rather be home, I tell you that.
It's great to have a local representative with a background in outdoors like we have here in our whole region. All of them are. Okay, well, I asked you to send some pictures to make sure we can prove what you're talking about. And man, did he send some great pictures. So we're going to get started. Here we go. So you tell each one.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Now look.
I should have had my dad in that picture. He's in there. He was fishing with me then. So that was my good friend Bill Moody got us up on Blue Pond up there in the old Moody pasture, kind of, and that it was kind of funny because we weren't normally brim fishing like we were used to. It was almost like we were bottom fishing. We were using little ultralights and just dropping right on the bottom with little worm, and I mean just
on the bottom,
just like that, as fast as we could go. That my dad, you saw the fish. He was in hog heaven that day.
He got a kick out of that.
We had a blast that day. So yeah, that was a lot of getting. Took it to Gandy's and said, I need some help cleaning the fish.
You
and Kenyon looked at me and said, what in the world? So, hey.
Okay, now our next one here, jumping over to salt water. You've been on Seminole Wind.
Yeah, Captain Billy. Yeah, he's a great captain, and that's such a good boat. Fish with him usually once or twice a year with my brother-in-law and family, and he always puts the show on the big snapper, and great boat, great fishing with that guy.
Is.
Oh man,
this is not Panama City Beach.
That is not Panama City. That is Craig, Montana. That is Captain Ron Sorson right there, my God. He fishes 6 months in Montana and 6 months in Argentina.
Wow.
He lives the dream, doesn't he? But so that is a big brown trout caught on a fly rod. We go up there every couple of years, my wife and I, friends that introduced us to that part of the world, and it's special if you've never been. Even my wife, who's not she loves to fish, but she's not a fly fisherman, and fly fishing's not for everyone. But she's very good at it. She loves it. She's had a blast out there with me doing it. It's a lot of fun for a couple's trip and a family trip.
Those ladies do enjoy doing that because something about the gracefulness of it.
Well,
sort of.
The guide tells me, he said, the women are better at it, Griff, because they listen to directions.
How about that?
So
we've talked about
we
that
tend
before.
to know more than the guides.
All those guys think we know everything.
Yeah.
All right, this next picture here.
Oh man, magical day with Captain Justin Leak, right?
Yep.
You see that? That's our beaches. That's on the west end of the beach. We went out one day and filmed his show, the Chasing the Sun show. And I think we hooked 12 and boated 4 that day.
That's awesome.
And it was, I tell you, it was special.
Yeah, I taught Justin how to fish, and he was one of my early guests. He and Matt Smith, way before they started the business. He went to Collegeville, landscape architect.
Florida A&M, and great fisherman, man. We had a blast that day. We were going to do it 3 ways. We were going to do live bait, plastic, and or live, artificial, and fly. Yeah. And we only got to artificial before the winds picked up, and so we had to call it a day. But we got about 2 of the 3.
That's beautiful. Now here she is.
Yeah, there's my pretty wife. She loves to get up there in that part of the world and fly fish, and she really enjoyed it. I was worried about it the first time, and she was like, "No,
we got this." Huh?
She loves it. She loves it, and she outfished me the second day.
Why am I not surprised?
She did.
My wife can do that.
She outfished me hard.
Yep. All right, this is with the Raffield?
Yeah, that's Captain Raffield. That was Clarence on that boat.
Yeah.
I've fished with Laverle, Cody, and Clarence, all 3 of those boys. And Laverle, the dad, back when the Best Bet was running, and all through the years, another great captain, puts you on big fish every time.
Haven't we had a great snapper season this year?
All you want to catch. All you want to catch.
Yeah.
Every time I plan to go, you know how it is when snapper season hits, the snapper gods turn the surf on, right? And the wind starts blowing and it gets rough as heck for 2 or 3 weeks. So every chance I started to go in the beginning, I never got an opportunity. So I'm going to have to hit it this fall pretty hard and on the weekends.
Yeah, you got several weekends left. Now, this is a cool picture here. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so that was when we were filming the show. The guy on the boat, had all those great cameras, and he took that. And you can see that's one of our condos right off the beach on the west end down there. I think that's Tidewater.
That's almost like a Photoshop.
Isn't that crazy? No, that's a real tarpon photo that we were. You can see the rod tip right up there in the right behind his tail, where he was right at the boat and he just dove as he got to the boat. I tell you, those are big fish, and when you find them, it drained all the blood out of my hand because I was holding on that rod for so long. My hand went numb for like 3 days. I fought so many fish. It was the greatest. I loved it. It was great. But that was a magical day.
I know it was. All right, check out this one. This is local.
Yeah, that's up in our bay. That's probably West Bay.
Yeah.
That looks like up there.
It's just fun going bay fishing.
I got a really good friend, neighbor, John Cipher, who's got a great little flats boat, and he loves it as much as I do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if we catch them or not, just as long as we're out there goofing off for a few hours. And we swap out. I'll pole him, and then he'll fish, and then we'll swap out, and it's just.
Oh, that's so cool.
It makes it so much fun.
That is so cool.
We went last week. We caught 1 fish and spent about 3 hours, but it's just.
Yeah, fun, didn't it?
It's perfect.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot.
It's perfect. You don't have to. I mean, I love going offshore, but that's a day.
Yeah.
Especially on these summer slower boats.
Here, you run out of bay for a couple of hours, and
you back at work if you need to go to work.
I know. This next picture. What about this one?
Oh, that's a snook. That's with my neighbor John. He and I, we went down to like the Captiva Islands area, 10,000 Islands, and fished all that. And this snow line, we were just kind of slinking around, not paying any attention. I had a bait caster and was throwing a gold spoon.
A gold spoon.
A gold, probably the greatest bait ever invented, right?
Oh,
and snagged that snook. And let me tell you, that thing fought and it was the best.
You can't, if you couldn't give one lure out in the bay, it'd be a gold spoon. I've always said that.
If you had to go, like one of these shows where you can take one thing with you, take a rod and reel and a gold spoon, right? And you could probably survive.
That's right. Oh, this is a nice one.
Yeah, now that was over in East Bay.
East Bay.
Yeah.
So we've hit West Bay, East Bay.
Yeah, that was a big one on the flats over there in East Bay. He had some shoulders, didn't he?
He sure did.
Yeah, I love the redfish.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just, I love to sight fish. It's my favorite thing in the world to just go out there and just cruise around and look for them. And it's really the best time of the spring and the fall to me is when really the sight fishing is the best around here. You can go out there and hunt around for them all you want.
We're in prime time right now.
We're prime time.
Sure are. So a great picture. We're going to take a final break. We'll come right back with our representative, Griff Griffith. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time this morning, 8:18 to 10:18, and this afternoon, late 8:47 to 10:47. Griff's going to come back on the show because we just touched her. I said, how about your quail hunting? Yeah, you do a lot of...
Riverview Plantation up in on the Flint River.
Yeah.
I go the week or so before Christmas every year. Same 9 guys, been going for a long time. My brother and I, it's a kind of a tradition between he and I, but that's a lot of fun.
How cool is that?
That's a lot of fun.
Okay, so that's another show.
That's another show. I got a lot of good video too of those dogs working up there. That's
man,
so
we
great
love
to
it.
watch. Yeah.
Okay, so you're an elected official. We're not politicians. We're elected officials, and we tell the difference between an elected official and politician. Politicians don't know anything about outdoors. Elected officials like us, we love the outdoors.
We're normal people.
What about Tallahassee? You got any buddies in the house that are
Oh, yeah. You'd be
outdoors?
shocked. There's a lot of guys up there that really like to get outside. And there's guys have big deer farms and things like that.
Cool.
And a lot of fishermen. The coastal guys really like boats and fishing. And so we're lucky with that. Kevin Steele, a friend of mine out of South Florida, he's got a farm up in Bainbridge.
Yeah.
So you'd be shocked at how many of them really like to be on the water or out in the woods.
I love to hear that because that means that they're taking care of outdoorsmen.
Oh, most people, I think, because of maybe of a party affiliation, you think that they're not conservationists,
right.
Which is every one of those fish that you probably saw pictures of. I don't know that I kept any of those fish. If I'm not going to eat it, I'm not going to keep it. I don't freeze fish anymore.
I'm the same way.
Those snapper now those snappers came home. Those came home. Those are going to get eaten. Those redfish, I don't eat. I let most of that go.
Yeah.
And I think most people that I know up in Tallahassee are just like me.
That's
They're just
awesome.
like me.
That's good to hear. And so we're talking about boat ramps. One of the areas here, we don't charge for a boat launch fee here in Bay County.
No.
You're a county commissioner. So.
Yeah, Bay County, it's always been part of the comprehensive plan of Bay County to make sure that there's access to water, especially the waterfront. The old roads on South Lagoon, they dead into the lagoon. That's water access for the public. That's important to make sure that our people have access to that bayfront. We got the prettiest bay system.
Oh, man.
We need to make sure people have access to that.
What about, what's the latest going on from your side on the old pass and things like that?
Yeah. I really think, I think we are going to see the old pass open one day.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. It's going to take a couple of years. It was a 3-year environmental study. Mm-hmm. You're just having to jump through these hoops, right? And so if I was a betting man, I would say that we're going to see Old Pass open in the next 4 or 5 years. And I would say that they've always told us they don't want us to jetty it, which I think we all know is pretty...
We tried it.
It's not going to work if we don't jetty it. But I think what we should do is let's get it open, and we'll fight the jetty fight after the fact.
Okay.
Jay and I, Senator Trumbull, we're not going to let that die in Tallahassee. That commitment is there. Jay wants it as bad as I do, and we know what it'll do for the Bay and everything else. And so we're going to continue that fight.
That's cool. I've got a couple minutes left. As an elected official, what's your biggest challenge, maybe in Tallahassee or even just in general? What's some of your big challenges you just have? There's got to be budget, I know.
Money's all. But state of Florida does very well budgetary-wise. The truth is, I think in Tallahassee, the biggest challenge is you're dealing with such a large number. I'm one of 120.
Yeah.
And the guys in South Florida, Miami, Tampa, and Orlando don't think like Bay County. And so that challenge of bridging that is been, I think, a process for me.
Yeah.
Also, getting things from the start to the finish line, because of all those different that diversity makes it a little more challenging. But it's I appreciate the people. I appreciate all of us that work up there, and I enjoy the hard work.
Yeah.
I don't like living out of a suitcase. Nobody would, right? but I enjoy the hard work, and I like helping the people of Bay County.
I know. I was impressed that when I was up there, y'all get along and y'all do compromise. I mean, you have to. Y'all have to do that.
Everybody gets along very well, even both sides of the ticket. It doesn't matter what side you're on. You have to sit down and work it out, and we do. There's some issues we don't agree on. We're never going to agree on certain issues, like gun control. Right? We're not going to ever give away those rights.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we do sit down and talk with Democrats about a lot of things, and we get along on most subjects.
That's cool. Now, what you need to do, take some of them on some quail hunts with you, or take them fishing with you.
You'd be shocked. Most of them are pretty outdoorsy. They just think things a little bit differently in the social world, and that's okay. It takes all types to make this world go round.
That's cool. Well, I know y'all have some cookouts and all things like that.
Yeah, we get together quite a bit, and they do retreats for us. We do a lot of fun stuff as a group up there. There's 30 in my class, and they teach you to build a team, a caucus.
Yeah.
And so we respect that, and we try to make sure that we do that, and we all look out for each other. It's a big group effort up there.
That's great. Well, I tell you, we're going to run out of time.
We'll come back and do it again. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you having me.
Well, thank you so much, and it's great pictures. I apprate you coming on.
Thanks for showing them off. My friends now will believe that I actually catch fish.
And they can watch it now on YouTube. Look at these pictures. So you can all your South Florida friends.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, folks. We appreciate you watching our show. We appreciate your viewership. You share with other people. You do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the great outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.